Hey guys, Glad Dad here. I figured that I would show you guys my Adagnister deck profile. I decided to play it yesterday just for a regular standard tournament on to Sundays. 4 rounds. I went undefeated. I will upload round 3 and 4. I had some issues with round 1 and 2, so I won't be able to upload those. And then I'm also uploading another friend's profile, Peter. I played him round 4, so you'll watch our match. He didn't get second place, like he said in the profile that you'll see if you watch it. He was his buddy who wrote down our match slip put his name because I was recording his profile, but he didn't bother to ask who won the match. So he didn't get second place. I got second place. I went three wins, 0 losses, and a draw. So I technically went undefeated because, a draw is not a loss, but it's also not a win. So I had second place. But I figured I'd go ahead and show you guys this Adagnister list since it's just still a really strong deck. A lot of decks have a hard time dealing with the towers. And then also on your turn, it's just access code turbo. So round 1, I think I played against was a Despia Mutant deck mixture, which actually works really well. He was also my teammate, JD. You guys have seen him on here before. Round 2 was my draw. It was against Earth Machine. I just didn't see enough combo pieces to... our game 1 took a while, then our game 2 took a while, so when we got to game 3, there was like a minute left, and he went first. And he messed up his own combo to where he couldn't make Gustav and burn me. So I got really lucky in that one and just got stuck with a draw. Round 3, you guys will see I played against Prank Kids, which was a really interesting match, watching this go against Prank Kids. And then round 4 was against my buddy Peter. You'll see his deck profile too. Check it out. It's actually a pretty interesting deck that he plays. It's like a Poker Knight Eldritch mixture with a couple other engines in there. It actually is pretty like different compared to some of the other decks in the meta right now. But we'll go ahead and get into this. I want to show you guys why I played this deck, because I love Adagnister. I think since they got their Link 1, it's still a really good, solid deck to contend for the meta. So first we have the 3 Achichis. He's your basic, best starter in the deck. He is the one that searches, when he's normal or special, he'll search a Adagnister monster from the deck. But he also has another effect, but it's irrelevant. You don't ever use it because it destroys your own monster during damage step. So I'm not quite sure what that conflicts with. I think it goes with the Fire Phoenix, because if you pop the Fire Phoenix, or if he's destroyed, he pops a monster. So next we have the one you mostly search off of Achichi, which is Picari, or Pikachu, or whatever you want to call it. My buddy calls them the jelly beans. Normally you search this off of the Achichi, or you search Doyon. We'll get to him in a minute. But this one is the one that searches your spells. You'll either search the AI Reborn, or the AI Michu, or the field spell. You don't really ever have to search the field spell off this. You can search AI Contact, which is really nice, because if you open with a field spell and your Link 1's going to get you a field spell, it's 2 field spells. So you can search the AI Contact off of this and draw 3 by just putting the other field spell back to the bottom of the deck. I did that, I think, round 4. You'll see it in my round 4 match, that it actually was insane, because you play a bunch of hand traps, so it's literally just Graceful Charity with no discard, and you're being able to get a bunch of hand traps to interact with your opponent. Next, in my last list, I only played 1 Doyon. I bumped him up to 2 because I realized he's actually a pretty essential combo piece, considering when he's normal or special, you can target an Adagnister monster in your graveyard and add it back to your hand. So normally, whether you open up with Achichi or Picari, he gives them back to you. So that way, whichever one that you normal summon, you'll be able to special summon off of the field spell later on in the combo. So it's really, really helpful. And then when he goes to grave for a Link summon, he gets you back your one of your AI traps or spells. I actually ended up getting back Contact because I opened up with 2 field spells, and then I had the field spell recurs itself. So I had one on the field. My buddy put it when he conked. He put it in the grave. And then I just did its effect and brought it back out. And then the AI contact I added back off of this, I used it and drew 3 cards. So, I mean, the field spell in this deck is really good because no matter what they do to it, even if they banish your field spell, your AI Idle Reborn has a second effect that it'll give you back a banished AI card. So you can get your field spell back any which way. The only really way that you can't get it back is if they evenly match and you banish it face down. But then we play the one Baruru. I call him the Green Booger. He is your Foolish Burial. Off your combo when you special him, he will dump the Donmari, which is this guy right here. He will dump this one because this is the free negate for your Link 6. So, and then when he goes to grave for a Synchro Summon, which normally he does with Doyon or Picari normally, depending on how your hand is or your combos work, then you'll make your Wind Ignister, and you'll special this back, and his effects are negated, so it won't trigger. But it's a fodder that you need back to make your Dark Templar or to make another Link. And then, like I said, the Donmari, he's a hand attack. He can negate an attack in hand if you draw him. But other than that, he's mostly good for just sending to the graveyard off of Baruru. So that way you have a free negate when your Link 6 is on the board. Or if you don't have this to send, you can send a Doyon, because then having a Doyon in grave is very, very helpful. He's just a free extender. I almost contemplated playing 3 of the Doyon, but I think 2 is very solid for this format. Then these 2, I play the Hayayari and the Doshin. You don't use them for their effects because you're not playing the counterparts for the effects, like the fusion and the ritual. But you just play these so that way you have a free bodies. Because a lot of times you'll have one Ignister in hand, you need another, so you can just, But these 2 you really can only search off Signet Mining. Well, actually, this one you can search off if you reveal AI Meet You if you reveal the Transcode Talker. But this one really you can only draw or search off of Signet Mining. But they're both really good extenders. They also both really help you play through Nibiru. Gotchi, Ignister, he's just, again, another free extender. You target one of your Cybus monsters, negate its effect, and special him. So he's really just good for another extender. But he does have a good effect that if he's sent from field to graveyard, you can target one face-up monster you control. That target is unaffected by your opponent's card effects till the end of the turn. So I almost used that effect when I was playing against somebody. Because I summoned it targeting my, I think, Security Dragon, maybe. I can't quite remember the monster. Just to protect it, or to negate its effects, to summon it. Because then I was going to link it off, and then target my Transcode Talker up here to be unaffected. So, I mean, it's good to just have for another body. It's also got a 3k booty, so it's pretty big. So that's it for all the Ignister monsters. We'll go ahead and get into the hand traps that I played. Now, this deck is a lot like Prank Kids, so you can get away with playing a lot of hand traps. I think I played a total of 12 hand traps in the main, and then 3 or 4 more on the side. I played, actually 6 in the side deck. I played 3 Ash Blossoms, pretty standard, best hand trap in the game. 3 Effect Veilers, because this card is very powerful right now due to a lot of normal summon decks. It's really good against Tri Brigade, which is kind of at our locals. Most of our locals is like Rogue with Drytron, to be honest. It's also good against Prank Kids because it can beat the Dodo or the Rocket. 3 Bell, again, just really good hand trap this format. 3 Imperm, because everybody is also siding and playing Talents. It's just basically a better Veiler, in my opinion. Also a good way to turn off Floodgates. Then 1 Call by the Grave, just because you hate being hand trapped too. It's a good solid one. This deck is 41 cards, so you can cut the Call by if you want. I decided to play it, and I'm glad I did. I mean, I went undefeated with the deck. It was really nice. Then the best card in the deck, the absolute bread and butter, is Ignister AI Land. This card is absolutely insane. I mean, the fact that it can recur itself if it gets destroyed is really nice. Because if you control no monsters in your main monster zone, you can special summon 1 level 4 or lower Ignister monster from your hand. But for the rest of this turn, you cannot special summon monsters with the same original attribute by the effect of this card. Also, you cannot special summon monsters except Cybers monsters. So most of your extra deck, actually your entire extra deck, is all Cybers, because this deck locks you into Cybers. but Cybers is the best boss monster in the game. So, I mean, the fact that you can normal them, if you normal one, you can still special it if you get it back to hand off of this. So basically, you can summon the same Adagnister monster twice, but of course you can only use their effect once. But that's, I mean, this card in my last round, you guys wait till I post it. You guys will love that card, I promise. Then the Best Searcher. This card is really awesome. I think it was one of the best support cards we got out of the set. Lightning Overdrive. Fantastic card. I mean, the fact that I can just reveal any of my monsters in my extra deck with 2300 attack and then search something from my deck with the corresponding attribute. I mean, you can reveal Heat Phoenix to search Achichi. You can reveal the Light Dragon to search Pikari. You can reveal Transcode to search Doshin. You can reveal Dark Templar to search Doyon. It's pretty good that you can search literally every starter in your deck. But do remember, when you activate this card and you search that monster, the corresponding Adagnister from deck, if you do not summon the monster you reveal for this card, you do burn for 2300 damage. So the best thing to do is, like, make sure you summon the card. Unless you're doing, like, going first, summon the Phoenix. If you're making towers, it really doesn't matter if you burn for the 23. It's fine. Because the towers is going to be hard enough for them to out anyway. But once Heat Soul Decode Talker, the better Decode Talker comes out, he is a fire attribute with 2300, so you will most likely play him over the Fire Phoenix. I like the Fire Phoenix in some aspects. I did win a game with Fire Phoenix because I used his burn effect to burn my opponent for the rest of their damage. But it's just, you get more benefit and you can draw more cards off of Heat Soul. So once Heat Soul comes out, I'll definitely be doing an updated list and, you know, getting rid of the one. AI Contact. This is a Pot of Greed in this deck, or Graceful Charity with no discard. Like, you literally just put back a field spell, draw 3 cards. Like, this card, I abused it in game 3. And it was most of the time I do it when I feel like I'm getting greedy or I'm in a good spot and I don't feel like my opponent's going to stop me. Because if I feel like my opponent's going to stop me, then most of the time search this first. Search your Reborn. Like, I mean, it's Quick Effect Reborn. It also is the card that gets you back your field spell if they banish it. So, I mean, it's an in-archetype Reborn, and it's a quick play. So it's actually really good on your opponent's turn to use. Then pretty standard, you're playing Cybers, so triple Signet Mining. You know, you can pitch the Donmari out of your hand if you happen to draw him. Don't hate me, I have mismatch attributes. If anybody has 2 secrets, let me know. I actually am looking for 2 more secrets. But it's a really, really good card. You know, pretty standard. It's been reprinted enough times now. Salad made it busted. Last but not least, you guys do not have to play this card. I chose to play this card because I have it. I know it is really expensive, so you can always play other things and you know, aspect of this. You can actually probably play Iris Sword Soul because it's kind of like a shittier version of this card in my opinion. But I played 3 triple tactical talents. This card is just overall good with everybody running all the hand traps and stuff, and with Dragoon being still a big aspect in this format. This guy is this guy just outs Dragoon, and especially in this deck because you can just take their stuff and make your big monsters. You know, I mean, so I liked triple tactic talents. I wouldn't change the deck. I think this is solid. This is a lot better variant than the first variant I played. I am still working on the Prank Kids combo video and a couple other combo videos that you guys are requesting. Like I said, I do have my live duels from round 3 and 4 I can upload. Round 1 and 2, I had some issues with some stuff, so we're not going to upload those. And then I do have Peter's deck profile up here coming up shortly. So let me go ahead and get into the rest of the deck, though. We'll go ahead and get straight into the extra deck. Now, I was playing 2 Dark Infants. I decided to bump it to 3 because most of the time you waste 2 of them going through your first combo. So it's nice to have the 3rd one for the grind game because you'll make the first one, search the field spell, then you'll link it off for the Wicked, but then you have to banish it off out of the graveyard off the Wicked, so that way you can search your Baruru. And then you'll have to make the second one under Dark Templar, so that way you can go ahead and trigger Dark Templar to make your link 6. So I decided to play 3 babies, 3 Dark Infants. You play the 1 Security Dragon from Nibiru. This is just mostly so you can link out of the token without having to play Link Spider. It also does work. I co-linked it with Transcode 2 bounce cards. So I mean, that does come up. You play the 1 Wicked. This is just so you can search your Baruru. It's really a nice card, actually. The 1 Update Jammer, because you do play Transcode and Access Code, so, you know, free games. I play 2 Splash Mages instead of 1. Some people I've seen play 1 of this and 2 Transcode. I definitely prefer this over 2 Transcode because 1 of these you're going to go through for your first combo. So it's nice to have the second one just in case if they bell this or late game, you know, if you need to grind, this gives you another grindy option to just make something bigger and kill your opponent. Then we'll go ahead. You play this Link 3, the Fire Phoenix. This card, like I said, is okay. It's a good burning effect because you burn them for 2,300. But, I mean, once Heat Soul comes out, we're gonna ditch this card out of the deck. We're definitely gonna ditch this because the Heat Soul is just infinitely better. And then you play the 1 Dark Templar, which is like one of the most busted cards in the extra deck because when something's summoned to the zone that it points to, it can special summon up to 3 Ignister monsters from grave, negating their effects to the zones that he points to. So majority of the time you'll make Dark Templar, then you'll special a Ignister not to the zones he points to, but like way over here or way over here. And you'll transform that one into this. Make sure this is to one of his zones. Well, I mean, it has to be. But then his effect will trigger and so will his. So you can do Chainlink 1, Chainlink 2. Dark Infant will move himself over. Change his attribute to Divine because, you know, then they can't super poly it. And then you'll summon 3 back. And then that right there is your Link 6. Then I play the 1 Transcode Talker. It's free in this deck. It's another powerful boss monster. Then we play the best boss monster in the game, the Access Code. If you guys can't get it, if you can't afford this, just play 2 Transcodes. That's literally like, just if you cannot afford this, play the double Transcode. Because this guy is literally a baby version of this. I mean, when he's co-linked, he can't be targeted, and he also gains 500 attack. So, and if you make him with Update Jammer, he can smack twice. So, I mean, you know, he's essentially a baby Access Code. Then we play the big boss himself, the Arrival. This guy is absolutely disgusting. I mean, the fact that you can make a, you know, 4K beat stick that, 4 to 6K beat stick that cannot be touched by anything except for like a kaiju, that's pretty disgusting. And then the fact that he can also just destroy a monster on your opponent's side of the field and generate you a token, which then you can turn into Lingaribo if you play it, or you can turn it into the Dark Infant. It's pretty good. I mean, I love this card. The fact that you're actually able to play this card is pretty nice. I can also pull off Dark Fluid in this deck, but I feel this guy in Access Code is better than Dark Fluid, because Dark Fluid can just be outed way too easy. And then last but not least, we got a couple links. You play the 1 Light Dragon Ignister and then the 1 Wind Pegasus. The Wind Pegasus is pretty good because, like I said, you'll make him in your combo. When he hits the board, you can destroy spells and traps up to the number of Ignister monsters you control. So when he hits the board, you can pop 1. If you have multiple, because when you make him, normally you have 2 or 3 Ignisters on the field, so he can pop 3 cards. I mean, he helps get out back row. Then he goes to grave, so that means when they out the Link 6, no matter how they out the Link 6, this guy can banish himself. Oh, sorry. He can banish himself and then spin a card back. So, I mean, that's you can get a card off the field, which is pretty nice. This guy is also really cool. You can detach material from him and destroy that many cards on your opponent's side of the field for as many Ignister monsters as you control. Also, he has a Dingrisu type effect that if a monster you control would be destroyed by a card effect, you can detach a card from him, and then that's it. You know, it doesn't get destroyed. So he's kind of like a Dingrisu. And then he has another effect that while he's on the field, he doesn't have to have material for this effect either. Is if a Cyberse monster attacks and inflicts battle damage, you can resurrect a Link monster from your graveyard. So, I mean, I've actually inflicted damage after they outed my Access Code and brought Access Code back. And then used his effect by banishing stuff and ended the game. So, I mean, it's pretty cool. This deck is like a lot of nice toolbox Cyberse stuff for being a Cyberse deck. Now we'll go ahead and do the side deck real quick. Remember, my side deck caters more to my my locals than anything, but we'll play 3 Nibs because rogue decks are always out there. And Nib is also really, really good in this deck because you can main this too. Because if you make your Link 6, this Link 6 is unaffected by Nib. So, I mean, and they're going to have to summon more than 5 times to out your Link 6. So, it's pretty nice. This stops their Access Code, their Borreload, Savage, or not Savage, but Borreload, Dragon, Borrelsword, anything. Like, this is just another generically good, like, hand trap right now. 3 Drolls because Drytron is still annoying, and so is some rogue decks. So this is just a good meta call right now for me. Then I'll play the triple droplet. A lot of decks are maining this right now. I chose to main like the imperms and stuff instead, but you could main droplet if you have droplets over imperms. Droplet is just too good right now, like because your opponent can't respond to it. 3 storms, because you are, you can go second and just play access code destroy. So I mean, force the negate or out the back row. And then 3 twin twister, because I like this because a lot of people are main decking IO right now, so this just you can activate in response to IO, so that way it's not a complete dead card and they don't turn off all your spells. But that's it, guys. That was my Attic Nestor deck profile. If you guys liked it, comment, subscribe, let me know, get it out there. Let's let more people see this interesting deck that I went undefeated with this last Sunday. And I'll go ahead and get the rest of my videos uploaded for you guys. And then shout outs to my team, Rivals Gaming, and then, well, I should say shout out to my team, Number Hunters, and then Rivals Gaming, the card shop we play at. And then shout outs to Peter for letting me get his deck profile. And then for some of the other places that decide to share my deck profile out around and everywhere, just keep an eye out, let me know. So, and I see that we hit over 400 subscribers finally. So let me know what you guys would like to see me do for 400 subscribers. Like, I want to do something like a giveaway or something, but I'm not entirely sure on what I want to do. So if you guys could give me an idea. So thanks for watching. I will see you guys later.